Lesson number 13, September 17th to the 23rd. Christ in the Crucible. Sabbath afternoon, September 17th, memory text, Matthew 27:46. At about the 9th hour, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, that is, my God, why have you forsaken me? Whenever we look at the issue of suffering, the question comes, how did sin and suffering first arise? Through divine revelation we have good answers. They arose because free beings abused the freedom God had given them. This leads to another question. Did God know beforehand that these beings would fall? Yes, but obviously he thought it was, as C.S. Lewis wrote, worth the risk. Worth the risk for whom? For us. While God sits in heaven on his throne? Not exactly. The freedom of all his intelligent creatures was so sacred that, rather than deny us freedom, God chose to bear in himself the brunt of the suffering caused by our abuse of that freedom. And we see this suffering in the life and death of Jesus, who, through suffering in our flesh, has created bonds between heaven and earth that will last throughout eternity. The week at a glance. What did Christ suffer in our behalf? What can we learn from his suffering? From the book Early Writings, page 178, it says, Satan had hoped to break up the plan of salvation, but it was late, too deep. And now, by the death of Christ, he knew that he himself must finally die, and his kingdom be given to Jesus. He held a council with his angels. He had prevailed nothing against the Son of God, and now they must increase their efforts, and with their power and cunning, turn to his followers. They must prevent all whom they could from receiving the salvation purchased for them by Jesus. By so doing, Satan could still work against the government of God. Also, it would be for his own interest to keep from Jesus as many as possible. For the sins of those who are redeemed by the blood of Christ will at last be rolled back upon the originator of sin, and he must bear their punishment, while those who do not accept salvation through Jesus will suffer the penalty of their own sins. From the book The Story of Redemption, page 226 and 7, it says, Jesus did not yield up his life till he had accomplished the work which he came to do, and he exclaimed with his parting breath, It is finished. Angels rejoiced as the words were uttered, for the great plan of redemption was being triumphantly carried out. There was joy in heaven that the sons of Adam could now, through a life of obedience, be exalted finally to the presence of God. Satan was defeated and knew that his kingdom was lost. Have a blessed Sabbath.